Modern global chaos, war, ecological breakdown, political collapse feels terrifyingly random. But in ancient Hindu cosmology, this breakdown is entirely predictable. It operates like clockwork. These ancient palm leaf manuscripts define our current era, the Kaliyug, as an active, living infection. The text treats this dark age as a sentient force designed to dismantle righteousness. The scripture maps out a literal genetic lineage of evil, starting with a cosmic manifestation of a dharma, unrighteousness. This breeds hypocrisy, deceit, greed, anger, and violence. At the very bottom is the demon Kali, the sovereign of our current age. In this system, the collapse of society is a chain reaction of psychological pathogens. It passes from generation to generation until the entire human operating system is compromised. According to the texts, the infection first breached our world thousands of years ago. Emperor Parikshit intercepted the shadowy demon Kali, physically beating the ancient bull of Dharma, leaving the creature balancing on only one leg. Parikshit drew his bow to execute the demon, but Kali surrendered. Bound by the rules of sanctuary, the king designed a strict moral quarantine. He locked Kali into gambling rings, into violent slaughterhouses, shadowy, intoxicating taverns, and illicit brothels. The quarantine was stable. Then Kali begged for one final concession, and the king made a fatal miscalculation. He granted the demon a fifth domain, gold. Shortly after, Parikshit placed a golden crown on his head, a crown acquired through violence. The physical touch of the gold allowed Kali to bypass the king's moral defenses and infect his mind. In a sudden fit of rage, Parikshit insulted a powerful sage, triggering a curse that ended his life 7 days later. The strongest moral barricades collapse the moment leadership is compromised by systemic greed. With the emperor dead, the quarantine shattered, unleashing the dark age upon the world. Unchecked, the Kaliyug spreads. The text predicts specific ecological symptoms. Rivers abandon their courses, weather patterns fracture, and the earth stops yielding grain. The political system rots from the top down, with leaders operating like parasites feeding off their own citizens. Society fractures. Fraudulent gurus claim authority. Ancient philosophical frameworks are discarded, and spiritual meaning is replaced by absolute material consumption. Recognizing a planetary failure, the deities of the Hindu pantheon compile the data of this collapse. They bring their findings to Brahma, the architect of the universe, pleading for intervention. The response reveals a core principle of this cosmology. The universe has an automatic self-correcting mechanism. When the disease reaches complete saturation, the system initiates a hard reset. The countermeasure takes the form of an avatar. The texts prophesy the birth of Lord Kalki in a secluded mythological village known as Shambhal. He arrives flashing his divine credentials, manifesting with 4 arms to signal his cosmic origin to his parents. At the request of the gods, he compresses his form into a standard 2-armed human, allowing him to walk undetected among humanity. As the boy grows, he begins to see the rot. He asks his father where all the wise men have gone. He wants to know why the traditional truth seekers and preservers of knowledge are completely absent from society. His father delivers the grim reality. The relentless pressure of the Dark Age has forced the righteous into hiding or corrupted them entirely. They are serving the very system that enslaves them. That is the exact moment Kalki's core directive locks in. He understands the era of debate is over. He arrives as a terminal cleanser, a divine antibody deployed to purge the planet of its systemic rot. To execute this purge, Kalki must be weaponized. He leaves home to install his martial software under the tutelage of Parashurama, an immortal warrior. Under his guidance, Kalki masters 64 disciplines and the highest levels of warfare. When his training is complete, Kalki asks what he owes for his education, the traditional guru dakshina, or teacher's fee. His master's price is absolute. He demands the total, uncompromising eradication of the demon Kali and his entire bloodline. With his software loaded, Kalki needs the hardware. He travels to the mountains and kneels before Lord Shiva, the god of destruction, to acquire the tools necessary for a world-ending campaign. Shiva grants him 3 distinct assets. First, Devadatta, a shape-shifting white horse that moves with the speed of light. Second, Shuka, an omniscient parrot that acts as a flawless intelligence network. And finally, Ratnasaru, a terrifyingly thithy sword that emits a blinding light. These function as highly specific countermeasures, engineered to hunt down a systemic evil. You cannot defeat an invisible psychological infection with a conventional army. You need absolute speed, perfect intelligence, and devastating precision. This brings the ancient text to their climactic image. Kalki, fully armed and mounted on his celestial white horse, drawing his brilliant sword to slash through the age of darkness. This prophecy functions as a survival manual for the spirit, offering a path through the collapse of external institutions. For thousands of years, this story has acted as a psychological anchor. When institutions fail, when governments gorge themselves on their citizens, and when truth feels impossible to find, this narrative